Hi everyone, it's Becca from Scratch Magazine here, and today we're talking all things branding as I'm going to be joined by the owner of award-winning brand and website design company, Bit2Flash, Liz Rochester Shaddock. Now, some of you may recognise that name already. We featured Liz before in our March issue in a feature about workwear and branding where she told us loads about branding, and she's here today to tell us more. Which is really exciting. We're going to talk all about what branding is and how to successfully brand your business. So lots of great tips for you today. And any questions you have throughout, please do just drop them below and I can ask Liz for you. So let's try and join her in. And as always, this will be available on Instagram TV after. Hi.
Hiya. Sorry.
How are you?
Hang on a second. That's better. Hello.
Hello. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah.
Good.
Excited. My first ever live. So.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. You'll do great, I'm sure. So I was just saying we featured you in our March issue. But for those that don't know you, can you just introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about Bit2Flash?
Yeah, sure. So, hi, I'm Liz, and my company's Bit2Flash, which I started nearly 20 years ago, whilst I was at university. And I work with business owners to develop and create brands for them, and I create and design websites start to finish in 30 days. So it's a quick process. Yeah, it's my website in a flash. Just I've found over the years, it just a website is a thing that people have on their agenda, but it just takes so long to get done. So I've got a focused process, so we get that website done in 30 days. And I've worked in the beauty industry for quite a long time. I used to work at Essential Nails, doing all the branding, marketing, and everything within that company. But now I work for myself solely on my own, and I've worked for some big brands, Licente. I work closely with Teresa Fodderin from the Nail Dresser. And I used to, when I was at Essential Nails, I even went to LA with Kirsty Meakin, the one and only.
Wow.
She was doing a competition in LA, and I went over and was filming her while she was doing the competition. So that was a good laugh.
Wow.
So yeah, I've
had all the experience then.
Yeah, lots of experience in the beauty industry. Yeah.
So today's all about branding, obviously, because you're an expert in that. But I think sometimes it can be a bit of an ambiguous term. People sometimes just think, oh, it's just a logo, but it's a lot more than that, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah. So the logo is just one tiny little part of it. Branding encapsulates everything. There's a quote by Martin Numeri who says, your brand isn't what you say it is, it's what they say it is. And it's exactly that. It's what your customers are saying about you. It's the whole customer experience that they're having with you. And it's just way more than what colour you're going to have and what fonts you're going to use and what your logo looks like. When you think of brands that you like, it's not necessarily the logo that you like, it's that feeling that you get. And that is what branding is. It's the feeling that you give your clients and your customers that they take away, and then they go and share it with other people. And that's how your business will grow and how your branding gets recognised by your customers telling other people about it. And that's ideally what you want to happen.
Yeah, definitely. And it being consistent, I guess, across your whole brand, so you're recognisable.
Exactly. Yeah. So once you've developed your brand, then it needs to be consistently used throughout. Don't deviate with something else, because you're gonna build trust. If you've got a consistent brand, you're gonna develop trust with your clients. They know exactly what they're getting from you. They know that they can recommend you to people. And if you start doing some weird stuff that's not consistent to your brand, it's all going to be a bit like, oh, what are they up to?
Yeah,
it won't work. So yeah, definitely need to keep it consistent.
So if a brand out there that's watching wants to successfully brand their business, but they're not sure where to start, what would you suggest?
Okay, so the first thing that you need to do before you even think about colours or logos, I know that's the fun part, but before you do that, you need to do the foundation work, and that includes thinking about what your values are for your business, what your vision is, what your mission is, all that sort of stuff. And then also, most importantly, you need to think about who your ideal client is, who you want to work with. It's all very well thinking, oh, anyone can get their nails done or anyone can have a beauty treatment. But if you're not focused on exactly who it is that you want, you're not going to attract anyone, because you're going to be too broad, and you need to really focus down on who it is that you want to work with. I have a bit of an analogy for branding, and I do talks about it. So it's branding is like hosting a party. So if you were to host a party, you first need to think about what kind of party it is. Is it a kids' party? Is it a adult's 40th birthday party, for example? And those two types of parties, yes, they're a party, but they're completely different. And you need to understand who's coming to the party so that you make sure that you can cater exactly for them. And it's the same with your business. You really need to understand what your business is about so that you're exactly catering for the people that are coming to your business and having treatments or whatever it is that you do.
That's such a good analogy. I love that.
Yeah, it goes deeper with like your logo is like the dress that you're going to wear, and you don't want to just go to the high street and pick something off the rack, because someone else could possibly be wearing that. And that's like going to one of these cheap places, Fiverr or somewhere like that, where they just create mass on mass, and you want something that's specific for you and make you stand out amongst the noisy, crowded arena that the beauty industry is.
That leads really nicely onto my next point. 'Cause I was going to ask, you mentioned this in our March issue as well. A large part of branding is about finding kind of what makes you unique, like your unique selling point. But I think sometimes that can be quite hard to figure out. So, what would you suggest?
Yeah, it is hard, but you've got to kind of, again, going back to that foundation work, knowing what your values are. Your brand is you. Generally, if you're a nail technician or a beauty therapist, you are the one giving the service, and your brand is you. So you're unique, and that is your unique. You've got to think about what's unique about you. It's good to recognize what your competition are doing, but don't get bogged down and worried about what it is that they're doing. Just try and focus on you, how you can be the best person, best brand that you can be, and serve your customers and give them the best experience, so that then they go on to talk about you to their friends and family. But I think that's the best way to think about it.
Yeah, definitely. So I was going to split up into two sections now. So first section, looking at kind of social media online, see what you're really good at. So what would your top tips be for brands that don't know where to start with that and then looking to successfully brand themselves, maybe on the website and on social media?
Yeah, okay. So I definitely think you should have a website and social media. With the website, you're going to have a lot more control over it. We know we've had shortages of or outages on Instagram and stuff like that, and your whole business could be lost if that's the only place that you're focused on. So even if it's a one-page website that just has details about your business, when people are searching to try and find somewhere to go to get their nails done, they're going to be looking online. And if your website pops up, that will set you apart from a lot of places, because there are lots of people who don't appreciate the value that a website can bring to your business. And again, it's keeping it consistent. Whenever you post anything on social media, if you use a filter, make sure you're using that same filter every time. Try not to go too crazy, like doing lots of different things, because you'll just get lost in the feed. If you can create posts that have your sort of brand style on them, people will instantly recognize that that's you as they're coming up, and they don't even need to see that it's your logo. They just think, oh, that's whoever it is, because they know that sort of look and style that you're portraying on Instagram and Facebook and any other social media. I create templates for some of my clients so that they've got a branded look whenever they have something that they can post. So that keeps it consistent.
Yeah.
Always use the same fonts. Always, if you've got your brands sorted out, make sure you're using the same colours, and yeah, just keep it consistent. That's the main thing, really.
It's simple things, but they make a huge difference, don't
Yeah,
they?
definitely. Yeah, and you can, and even the way that you take photographs of your work, try and keep it
Mm.
all similar. So when you're posting, have the same. If you're a nail technician, have the same hand poses, so that
Yeah.
it's instantly recognisable. Oh, that's their work, and you
Yeah.
don't even need your logo to be on it for people to know who you are, and that's what you want.
I was just looking at your background as well. I was going to say the same background for a picture as well. It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, definitely. And if you can put your branding in there, great. For people that don't know who you are, then they're seeing your brand
Mm.
well.
Amazing. So, what about the other side of things? Maybe the kind of offline side, so like stuff like workwear and salon decor and stuff like that.
Yeah, again, you need to keep it consistent. Keep it the same. If someone's come to, usually people find us online first, and then they might come to the premises. So if you've got an amazing experience online, you need to keep that going through for when they come to your salon or you go to their home. It's no good having something that looks amazing online, then they turn up and you're scruffy and like old
Yeah,
clothes.
yeah,
I think wearing branded uniform just gives you that edge of bit more confidence, and if you've got confidence, then the client's going to have confidence in your work as well.
yeah,
And
definitely.
again, with your decor, like if you've got a salon, it needs to be on brand,
Mm.
definitely. But you can still do it even if you go to, if you're a mobile beautician, you can have branded towels and your uniform and everything, just to keep it all nice and professional and consistent.
Yeah, mate,
Consistency.
that's a really nice point you made actually about mobile text because I didn't think about that before, but it must be harder to keep branding consistent in that way.
Yeah, but everything that you do, leaflets, flyers, business
Mm.
cards, if it's all got that same brand, it all feels united, and it just gives so much more professionalism to what you're offering.
Amazing. And so you've said a lot about continuity, which is obviously so important. Um, but how do you suggest that businesses kind of stay interesting? Because if they focus too much on continuity, then I feel like it could be easy to just produce the same content over and over again. You know what I mean? Kind of overload
Yeah,
clients.
so I think you need to have, if you've got a set brand style guideline, you need to stick to it.
Yeah,
If it's, I usually have like three main colours, and then filtering down from that a few accent colours, and then some neutral tones.
mm,
And you've got a lot to work with there. It doesn't have to be the same everything or looks the
yeah,
same every time. Vary it up a bit, but don't deviate away from what your brand is, because then you kind of start losing track on what it is you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Um, Follow the trends that are going on, but don't focus on them too much. Like, do them, but also incorporate some of your good stuff that's like core stuff as well. Otherwise,
yeah,
you can sort of get on the trend bandwagon, can't you? And
yeah,
lose what it is that you're doing. But
yeah,
yeah, I think if you've got a really strong brand guideline that you can follow, it's not too rigid, and it doesn't have to be stuck to, like, oh, every time I just have to have a blue background or whatever it is. Mix
yeah,
it up a bit, but keep it consistent.
yeah. There's still ways to keep it consistent without
Yeah.
doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
what would your top tip be then for successfully branding? If everyone had to take one thing away from today.
Okay, so top tip, definitely you've got to do the foundation work first. Make sure you know who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it and who you're doing it for.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. And as I keep saying, keep it consistent.
It
Consistency.
works though. It does work.
It does. It makes the life a lot easier if you're not having to think about what colours, what fonts you're using every time you produce a piece of content. Then it just makes life so much easier,
Yeah.
and you'll get a lot more content created.
Yeah, exactly. And especially what you're saying about the templates as well. It's so quick, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And just have a set, and then after a few months get a new set, and then you keep on the same sort of style, but
Yeah.
Keeps it fresh and new.
So if anyone watching today wants to get in touch with you about your services, where should they contact?
Okay, so my website is bit2flash.co.uk. In 2 weeks' time, I think it's 2 weeks, on the 22nd of March, myself and Teresa Fodderin, the nail dresser, we're hosting a workshop on Zoom, and we're going a lot more in depth into branding, especially for the beauty industry. So if you're in the beauty industry, it'd be a great place to find out more. If you've got a brand or a website and you want me to take a look, I can do that for free. Have a look at it and give you some feedback. My Instagram, I think, is on here. It's at bit2flash. And yeah, if anyone's got any questions, I'd love to hear from you and answer any questions.
Amazing. Well, we actually have just had a question I was going to
Okay.
ask you. So someone said, what about if you're renting space in the salon? Because obviously it must be harder to, it's not your
Yeah,
space. If
yeah, exactly. Similar to being a mobile, I'm sure you'll be able to bring in your own towels and your business cards, leaflets, and wear your own branded tunic, if that's or whatever you wear, t-shirts or whatever it is. But yeah, just as much as you can, try and keep your brand to yourself and put it out there.
Yeah. And social media is such a good way to do that. So it
Yeah,
doesn't have to all be about the salon either, does it?
no, exactly. And yeah, social media, website, leaflets. If you can put adverts out in local magazines, I think that still works for salons because they're local.
Yeah. Amazing. And I've just seen that Teresa has put in the link for your Branding 101 webinar, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, we
What's
did it. We did that a few years ago when the lockdown started, and
Yeah.
it was really good fun. Lots of good advice for people and
Mm,
lots of fun.
yeah. Oh, and she's just said your brand is also your customer experience. Don't just think about the physical objects, which is very true.
Exactly. It's the whole thing. It's from booking the appointment right through to them stepping into your salon or you going into their home. It's that whole customer experience that is your brand, and that's what you need to focus on, making
Mm,
sure you're doing the best you can for your clients.
yeah, that feeling, as you were saying earlier.
Exactly. That's what it is. Branding is a feeling. It's not a thing.
Mm, love that. Well, you've been such a great help today. You've given so many great tips.
Oh, thank you.
It's been such a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for having me on here.
Thank you so much. And I hope people get in touch with you and get your advice and join the Branding 101 webinar.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Okay, lovely. Thanks very much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Take care.
Bye.